The man, the myth, the legend. My boy Player Essence put out a video yesterday on a series he's been doing for a little while now called OJ Speaks, and he spent about half of the video talking about why the gamers shouldn't be so serious, that people in general shouldn't be so serious about video games, that some friendships are ruined by it. People are blocking people over video game opinions, all this stuff. And he basically tried to put video games in perspective and talked about how they're not ultimately important. And I have to say, I might be mischaracterizing it a little bit. You guys should go watch his video. I'll put a link to it down in the description, by the way. Go check out his video to get his context, his viewpoint. But I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach here, and I wanted to respond to it because I agree in many respects in terms of video games' overall importance in the world, right? Like, to me, my family, my kids, providing for them, that matters way more. My fiance, school, all the stuff. Like, there's a zillion things to me that matter way more than video games. I mean, you guys know I haven't been posting a lot of videos over the past week. I haven't been doing a lot of live streams because there's been other more important things going on in my life I've needed to take care of. Even today, my kids had another snow day, so I've spent a large chunk of today taking care of my children because that's just what you have to do as a parent. They matter more than my job, regardless if it's about video games or anything else. I would have had to take the day off. So I wanted to respond because I disagree a little bit in video games' importance. And that I understand why people take video games seriously, and I understand why people are going to continue to take video games seriously, including myself. Video games are a form of entertainment, right? I think we all agree they're an optional form of entertainment, just like movies, just like TV shows, just like, heck, playing sports. Video games can be a hobby. They can be more than a hobby. Watching movies can be a hobby. Some people are movie critics, so it's more than just a hobby. It's their job. Just like for me here on YouTube. Like, yeah, video games is a hobby for me, but also it's sort of become my job to talk about video games. And I think that video games, just like any other entertainment spectrum, can be important. There are lots of studies out there about entertainment, whether it's video games, sports, whatever happens to entertain you out there, and its importance to our quality of life, believe it or not. Being entertained, regardless of what that entertainment is, actually makes for a more fulfilling life. Maybe, for you, being entertained is just going on hikes out in the woods, and that's great, but that's not the only way to entertain yourself. There are so many different types of entertainment, and video games represent a segment of entertainment that is grossly misunderstood by a large chunk of the world, but also really understood by the people who partake and enjoy in those games. So as an example, video games, for me in the past, have helped me through a lot of things. They helped me through a period of actual clinically declared depression in my life. They have helped me through, breakups. They have helped me through, tough times with my parents when I was a kid. They have helped me get my mind straight before doing homework where I was just so messed up and couldn't clear my head. Play a game and it just helped me refocus myself to get the things done that needed to be done to do my very best. Video games matter to me, and they matter to me long before I was a YouTuber, long before I did anything job-wise that involved video games. Video games were not just entertainment for me. Video games were an escape from a lot of things in life that helped me actually concentrate and figure out certain aspects of my life as I've grown up. And I don't know if you guys have similar stories. Maybe video games to you are just nothing but pure entertainment and nothing more. But it's the same thing with movies. I'll give an example of movies right now. One thing I do to help de-stress, because the life of a parent is stressful. So one thing I do, about once a month is I go to the movie theater by myself. I go watch a movie that I wanted to see that month by myself. I get my popcorn. I do the whole thing. I get the popcorn. I get the soda. I sit back and I watch a movie all by myself. No friends, no fiance, no nothing with me. And I do that because it's a way to de-stress. I can set aside everything else in my life and just focus on enjoying this one thing by myself. It's some me time. And I think that's what video games provide for a lot of people, are some me time. Now, it provides other things, camaraderie, something to do with your friends, all that. Like, the same stuff that, when I go and I shoot hoops with friends and stuff, video games provide a similar camaraderie to that. But it crosses such a massive spectrum of desires and needs and a lot that, to me, video games are important. They are going to continue to be important. Should they be more important than your family, than your friends? Should they be more important than your job? Of course not. Video games shouldn't be more important than any of that. But I don't think we can just quickly dismiss video games as just not really mattering. Like, when you say, well, why so serious? I agree with OJ in some respects that some people do take things a little too far. I see this often, even in people who come to hate on me and my channel and my thoughts on video games. I've gotten death threats because of my opinions on video games, like actual death threats. People emailing me and sending me images from Google Maps of my house that, scarily enough, because Google Maps is just taking pictures whenever, I actually had my kids in the backyard playing in one of the shots. It was kind of freaky at the time. And all of that because of my opinion on a video game. I see it sometimes in my live streams where someone will ask me a question, and I don't think the question really matters that much. I think it's a kind of an irrelevant question, such as in the last live stream when we had a bunch of questions about Emily Rogers and the 5 new Switch games. And it's like, yeah, okay, so Nintendo's announcing new games. I don't know what the big deal is, but so many people were getting hyped and excited and wanted me to start projecting and give all these thoughts, and I just don't think it was something worth talking about, in my opinion. And other YouTubers did talk about it. I know Switch Force, as an example, talked about it, but I know some others did as well. And I don't fault them for wanting to talk about it. Bottom line is, I do this job because I enjoy talking about games. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this otherwise. And I think gaming can matter. What I don't always understand is how YouTubers can matter, and I am one of them. But there are people that message me, weekly, especially this past week when I haven't been putting up as much content. They be like, "What's happening, man? Like, you really helped me get through tough days." And like, that's what gaming does for people. It brings people together. It builds camaraderie. It builds communities. Yes, there's toxicity, but guess what? Toxicity exists everywhere. It's not like this exclusive thing in video games. There are toxic family members. I'm sure many of you out there can point to people in your life, in your family, that have been nothing but terrible influences on you and others around you. I'm sure you can point out to toxic friends and toxic friend groups. I know I can point to that in my past. Heck, I could probably point to that in my present if I'm being completely honest with myself. You can find toxicity in the workplace. Toxicity is just a thing that exists because some people are inherently negative and inherently toxic and enjoy bringing others down. This is totally true of the trolls out there that come at me hardcore. As much as it hurts me to read nasty things about me and my fiance and my kids or whatever, however people want to personally attack me and what I do here on YouTube, it doesn't really matter to me. It kind of bounces off a little bit because you guys don't know me. So what you know is what I let you in on. You don't get to actually know the complete picture, and that's on purpose. So I honestly think that video games are extremely important, and they continue to be extremely important for me. There were some tough moments for me last week, and I turned to Breath of the Wild. I honestly went and I played some Breath of the Wild last week, strictly because I needed to just get away. There was a moment, actually, just this week when I was really stressed out. And what helped me relax and get my mind in the right place it needed to be to do what I needed to do for everyone else around me, I sat down and I played a game of Madden online. I didn't care if I won, didn't care if I lost. I just needed to get my mind off of things happening and refocus myself to get done what I needed to get done. In this case, it was just coming up with activities for my kids due to all the snow days. I had them playing in the other room while I played Madden, and whatever. Took a half hour of my day, played a game, and it helped me refocus. This is why I say video games are important, but it's dependent on the individual. What I will say is video games are not everything. And I think that's where we get caught up, where some people treat video games like it is the only thing. It is the most important thing. It is on a pedestal and nothing else matters. I think it's okay to be passionate about video games. I think it's okay to deeply care about video games. And I do think it's okay if video games hold an important place in your life, as long as it's not the most important thing in your life. That being said, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Do you think people are just too serious about video games? That's a medium that ultimately just doesn't matter? Or do you think that video games have a place, especially with certain people? I mean, I didn't even get into the mental illnesses and all that stuff. I'm just talking about my own personal experience of how much video games mean to me. Video games are very important to me. And there's a reason that even if I didn't do YouTube anymore, I'm going to keep playing video games, and I'm going to keep playing them probably until the day I die, because they matter for me. They help me deal with everything else going on in my life. And that is something that no other medium has been able to do as well. I said I go to a movie theater about once a month, but I need something else. I can't just go to movies all the time. Video games really help focus me up and help me deal with some of my emotions even at times too, because there are certain games that can evoke emotional responses from you that might make you get realizations about your own life. There's actually life lessons in some video games, believe it or not. That being said, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Relvejans from Nintendo Prime. Thank you for tuning in today. Sorry there isn't a lot of news coming out. I actually have a video working on right now about why it seems like we're not really getting a lot of news. Going to be very interesting on that front. That being said, be sure to enter our Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Ultimate giveaway through the Gleam.io link down in the description. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe for more content, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.